Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I'm a healer. So if you're new to the channel here, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your comments. They really just inspire me, support me. I really love receiving them, and I thank you for sharing them. And so, love, today I have an awesome reading for you. I'm really excited about this reading and the messages that Spirit wants to share. This reading is going to be about the perfect romantic relationship for you. So, not the perfect partner, but the relationship. Already there's a difference. And also, yes, we are talking about perfection, but we're talking about perfection as an essence. So, this is not about things happening in the right way or the way that you think they should happen in every single time, the way that you want them to happen in every single time. This is about perfection, what really suits you, what you deserve, what you are served by, the perfect relationship for you, where Spirit can bring as much unconditional love as possible to you through this relationship. And so we are going to be approaching it in that way. So we have here the nature stone, we have the growth stone, and then we have the new earth stone, and those are going to be the three options. Timestamps are in the description box, and I'll see you for your reading in just a little bit. Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to those of you who chose this nature stone. Love it. And nature stone is, of course, nature energy. So this is things happening naturally, organically, having an organic flow in the relationship, which is perfect for you. I feel like that would be a staple of any relationship that is a perfect fit, but it came through even more. So it's even more a component for you. So let's look at the dynamics within the perfect relationship for you. There's a card in here, which is the acceptance of love, which is my favorite relationship card ever. So let's see if it shows up. Just wanted to mention that in case. It doesn't have to, it doesn't need to. This is your reading. We'll see what we get, but just putting it out there. Exactly. Ooh, putting it out there. Okay, so that will be part of the reading also. This is a relationship, perfect relationship. This is an energy you've been putting out into the universe. This is an energy that you have been manifesting, co-creating with Spirit, and I would say with the person on the other side. So let's look at what we have. We have trust your own understanding. Beautiful. We have inner truths. Awesome. Awesome. I love that. And finally, we have God. Be your best self always. Love it. And so acceptance of love is very much my understanding of the perfect relationship, right? But here the first card shows up and talks about trust your own understanding. And so here Spirit is saying, look at this being, how beautiful they are, how elaborate they are, made up of so many different aspects, so many different things, complex. And I feel like this is talking about how you, when you come into this perfect relationship, or maybe as you are right now, so take it as resonates, but you are someone who will have led a life, who has led a life that has really shaped and molded you. You have had so many different experiences along the way, so many fantastic experiences, fantastic sights. I feel like you're someone who would have seen things that no one else would have seen, would have believed. You've experienced things no one else has experienced. You are very unique, and that uniqueness really has expressed itself in your life. So this can also be how you lead your life. You could have a very unique lifestyle, a very unique perspective on how life should be lived, and then to some degree you live that out, right? So for some of you, you could be beginning that, having had awakening, and it shifted your perspective on how to live life. And for others of you, this is something that you have been doing for decades. This is something that you have worked out. This is something that you own and you embody. But again, the perfect relationship will be an answer to that. And so there's always going to be the need for you to be connected to what your truth is, for you to go and find within you what you want, what you need, how you want life to unfold, and then bring that to the relationship. And you see here how there are different caverns, different things. The perfect relationship for you will be one that causes you to go into those inner places in order to get answers. So either in preparation for this relationship, or and also while you're in it. Okay, so it's always going to be an ongoing dynamic. So this could be, for example, let's say you meet someone and then there's an opportunity to move to another country. Then the question is going to be colder climate, warmer climate. What do I like? How do I thrive? How do I usually live? And so that's one example, but it is talking about inner truth. So this is the perfect relationship for you is one that has you explore your inner values, your intentions, your ambitions for yourself. Again, who you want to be, the kind of life you want to lead, and then continually has you explore that and go into that so that you can be supported in your efforts to be your best person always. There's this energy of you being that already when you come into this relationship, and then again to keep growing and to keep exploring that with another, to keep the dance going. But what was a solo dance where you were doing your thing and really enjoying yourself becomes a dance of two people moving together. And this other person doesn't necessarily have the same dynamic, but they'll be able to fit into your own dynamic. So again, this is your thing. You don't have to have a partner who also is all about their inner truths and their values and their way of life. They could have that, but it's not necessary. This is about you, and this is about your way in life. And so, by the way, it's very important that you do not try to impose this on anyone else. And I feel like this will have been your lesson along the way, and probably your lesson in past relationships, that you don't need your match as you understand it. You just need to understand you, live out you, and then find someone who fits with that. Meaning you don't need a copy of you. You need a partner. You need someone who can keep up with you. You don't need someone who is going to dance exactly the way you do. You need someone who can keep up with your dance, with their own steps and their own way of being and unfolding. And it takes a lot of appreciation of you to come to a point where you appreciate that in the other and you wouldn't want it any other way. So let's look at some deeper themes the Spirit wants to bring out. We have got our Queen of Wands. We have got the Hermit, Major Arcana number 9. We have got the Prince of Swords. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So let's look at what this is. These are lessons. These are fundamental lessons, and I feel like they are lessons to learn before you come into this relationship. First and foremost, we have the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands is talking about self-expression. It is one thing to know who you are and know your values. It's another to embody them. So there's a need for you in this perfect relationship to step into it where you are saying what you say, right? Say what you mean, walk your talk, those kinds of expressions. You are showing up as you, nothing more and nothing less. Here there is no pretense. This is a Queen of Wands who is beautiful, who's charismatic, who's attractive, but without pretense, without trying to be attractive, without doing the things that you think would make you attractive. You just are. And what's attractive is you. And that's something that your perfect partner would like in you. They would be attracted to you being you. With the Hermit here, there is an energy of being completely at home and happy in your solitude. At the end of the day, it's that saying about how we all die alone. And of course, it's not true. We're never alone in a spiritual sense, but it speaks to a level of ownership and responsibility for ourselves, for our own life and our own happiness. And so this is you in a space and a place where you're like, oh, I don't need anyone else to be happy. I don't need anyone else to complete me. I don't need a relationship. I don't need a family. I don't need a career. Like anything exterior, you don't need. So again, it's more than just your perspective on relationships. It's what you embody, it's who you are. You have this sense of completion within yourself. It's not really completion. What would it be, Spirit? There's a sense of wholeness. Like there's a whole world to you, and you're very happy to explore that whole world. And as we've talked about, that's actually going to be a necessary dynamic in the perfect relationship for you. Finally, we have Prince of Swords. There are some things that you will have to let go of before you align with this perfect relationship for you. There are small things here. And this is talking about, for example, what we were mentioning, trying to make the other person be more like you, requiring them to be more like you. This could be judging other people also in alignment with who you are, but there's just a bigger version of you. And when you look at this arm, which is pulled back, it's described as a very definitive movement. It's cutting off lower patterns for good. For some of you, this is also relational work in your family, your ancestry, past relationships. So really the Prince of Swords is speaking to having done a lot of work at an inner level and at a relational level in order to clear things out, in order to prepare for the perfect relation. The perfect relationship for you requires some preparation, and especially in your mental body, in how you think, your concepts about yourself, about life, about relationships, about men, about women, about non-binary people, about people in general, about life. Yeah, definitely a lot of work there, and especially life, and then relationships also. So now I want to draw some cards to look at your person. And we're going to stay in the same deck, which I kind of like because it does speak to you guys. You do have a same kind of energy. You just express it completely different. So what kind of traits would your perfect partner have? And here we are looking at traits. And maybe we will also talk about a kind of journey they will have to have been on in order to align with you. Let's see. We have got, oh, King of Wands. Well, there you go. That's why Spirit wanted the same deck. And again, there's just that match between your energy. Wow. We've got Five of Swords. Oh, Five of Swords. Okay. I see it. And then we have got Eight of Wands. Beautiful. Okay. This is a very, very fiery person that you are being drawn with, they're drawn to. That's how it's showing up. You guys are moving together. So this is not just a hypothetical. There is a dynamic here of bringing the two of you together, very much driven by the growth and evolution of this person, especially because they're showing up as the King of Wands. In this deck, the Knight of Wands is the King of Wands. The two of you are a pair, for sure. You're a pair. How lovely. And you're going to feel like a pair. And what we have here is a power couple. But what we also have is a lot of fire and is a lot of willfulness and a lot of desire and a lot of ambitions and drive and passion. So again, fire can be so nurturing, so warm, so life-giving, and it can also burn. And there's the need for both of you to come to a degree of mastery in how you manage your own fire so that it can match together. But what you see here is that you're showing up as the queen, and that's not gendered. We do here, you can take it as being gendered if you are in alignment with feminine energy or predominantly express feminine energy, energetically and physically and so on. Then you can take it as a confirmation of that, right? That you will get your King of Wands. However, it is showing up because it says that this person is just going to be more willful than you. They're going to be a tad bit more willful than you. They're going to be a tad bit more maybe also empowered, having the ability to drive their will through. So for example, if they're like, I want to live in a $3 million mansion, and you're like, no, I want to live in a $2 million mansion. Well, maybe they have the money to buy that, right? Maybe you don't have the money to buy the two. It would be like that. They have the means to back it up, to back up their will and to make things happen a little more than you do. And they're also a little more attached is the word that I'm going, but attached isn't the right word. Willful is actually a really good word for it. They're just a little more set in their ways than you are. And so it's important, therefore, that you have a lot of strength and a lot of power in you to hold your ground and to hold your authenticity and to make sure that whatever unfolds is what you actually want. It actually fulfills you. It actually nurtures you. because they're showing up at this King of Wands. It's such a positive energy. It's like wherever they lead you, you want to go. It's like you walk into the $3 million mansion and you go, oh yeah, this was way better. So they have this ability to lead you where you want to go. They have this ability to provide, in essence, so much of what you want, right? And in a way that's going to increase your passion, increase your drive, where you're going to be driven into more alignment with them, into this king type energy of leading the kind of life that you want to lead. However, with the Five of Swords here, and it says defeat, this is going to be someone who will have walked a path where that's not going to have been valued in them. So maybe people will have thought that they are pushy or controlling, or people will have thought that they're wishy-washy and not enough, right? There's so many different ways in which this energy can unfold. People might have thought they're dreamers. What? Wait, why do you want to put so much energy into how you want to lead your life? What's wrong with you? But they definitely will have been put down a lot. That upside down pentagram is when the material takes precedence over the spiritual. So because of who they are and what they have and how they go about their lives, they will have been judged a lot. And so when we have it in conjunction here with the Hermit, when they come into connection with you, and you don't need them to be a certain way in order to be happy with them, in order to enjoy them, to love them, to start a relationship and continue a relationship with them, to be in a relationship with them, deepen a relationship with them, right? Wherever you guys are at, then it's going to be incredibly rewarding for them. And again, the central dynamic of who you are with this Eight of Wands is going to be a continual drive for this person in this relationship. This is, I don't even know how to explain this, but it's like the fact that you don't need them is going to inspire them to do more for you. And not because they want you to start needing them, but because they appreciate the space and the freedom that that gives so much, that they are just going to play and revel in that freedom. It would be like, you know, if you have a child and you give them some Legos and you say, build this very specific thing, and then you leave in an hour later and the child is building it and stuff, they won't have as much joy as if you give them Legos and say, build whatever you want, do it any way you want. Then the creativity is sparked and they start just inventing and trying and exploring. And this is what this person really has been wanting in a relationship, and they're gonna find that with you, provided that you're in a space and a place where you precisely don't need them to be providing something very specific, but you're also very happy to kind of do your own thing and then add them to the mix, and then to go on an exploration, on a journey, on an adventure with them, on the basis that you yourself are just doing so well, so fulfilled. So my love, let's get you some advice. Let's get you some advice for the perfect relationship. This is really, really cool. This is really cool. I think it's so cool. And it reminds me of an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation called The Perfect Mate. I believe it's season 4. If that speaks to you, check it out. It is, I don't even want to explain what happens because that would spoil it, but it's exactly the kind of dynamic that I see here. So we've got Orphaned, number 5. Okay, there's some change there. And then we have Thinker. Master number 44 is showing up. Okay, the first bit of advice Spirit has for you is to really understand that there is some wounding you have with regards to relationship, and especially if we have orphaned here, then family dynamics would be showing up strongly. But I do feel like it's also relationships. I'm getting a lot of energy of, yeah, the 5 of Cups, a lot of disappointment, a lot of having been taken advantage of, having been misjudged, having been taken for granted, and certainly not getting what you want, what you need, what you deserve in relationships before. And it's very important to heal all of that, because really what Spirit is saying is that how other people have treated you in relationships before has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. So if it has nothing to do with you, it has even less to do with this person, with this perfect partner that is going to be showing up for you. And in that sense, it would make sense to clear that, to heal that before you come into connection with them. Or if you already have this person around you, for you to do this work so that it doesn't affect the relationship any more than it already has, and certainly that it stops affecting the relationship. It's very worthwhile work for you in general, but especially in this relationship. And it's always going to be a dynamic of this relationship for you to keep things on their own turf where they belong, not to project, not to make the other person's responsibility, but for you to really see it as you growing, evolving even more of how awesome and wonderful you are already, and developing your abundance, really, which will be mirrored in this relationship. And so, with that, we have got number 44, master number. And 44 is a system of life, right? That's how I see it. It's our system for life. 4 is the foundation. 44 is the system. And master number 44 is very much the mastery of systems and systematic levels in life. Meaning that when you have a system and you program it to work a certain way, then it just works. And so this is Spirit talking about how to prepare for this connection or improve it by really focusing on foundational things, fundamental truths. Again, who are you? What do you need to have in life? What do you value? What kind of relationship do you want to have? This card is talking about being very clear on that and then engaging in relationships from that basis. And especially when you're meeting people. I was watching someone the other day who was talking about her abusive marriage. And she's like, we've been married for 12 years and I met him when we were 15. And after we'd been dating for a month, he grabbed me by the hair and dragged me across his deck. And I was just like, after a month, and you didn't end that relationship after a month? That's out. And again, it doesn't need to be this dramatic. It's a matter of going into relationships where you're meeting people and you have your values, you have your truth of who you are, and then you reference it with yourself. Does this fit me? Does this align me? What this person is talking about, how they behave, does that fit me? It's not about judging them. It's not about deciding whether someone is good or bad or good enough. It's about knowing what fits you and what works for you. And it's about developing that really, again, in all areas of your life, because this is a way of being. It's something to embody that then shows up in this relationship. And this relationship also aligns with that way of being. And so Spirit is saying, do it now, start now, to have this system of life. And if you already have it, to deepen it and expand it. Do you know what works for you and what doesn't work for you like that straight away? And of course, sometimes like it says thinker, you can consider, but very often we actually do have physical responses and innate responses, intuitive responses, and it's about learning how to listen to that. But also, thinker is talking about you understanding why that's a good thing, why it's a good thing to trust your own understanding, and how it really is a foundation for you to have a good life in general. It's your system of life to trust what works for you, and it also will be one central aspect of the perfect relationship for you. So that was the reading. I do want to do a takeaway. I always want to do a takeaway with this deck. That was not it, no. And actually, I'm kind of sneak peeking. I did see a card that was like, you will be surprised, but something is hidden, okay? And we have got start where you are. Well, there you go. Start where you are. And it says, the great thing about feeling deep, profound, earth-shaking love is that you can start with anyone. Start where you are. Exactly. And this is talking about, again, the notion of preparation. And fundamentally, to start with you. Start by developing this relationship with you. And then the perfect relationship will show up, but also unfold in relation to the dynamic already established within you and by you, right? Chosen by you, established by you, worked by you. It starts with you. So my love, that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that it served you. I hope that you enjoyed it because I had a lot of fun. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Wishing you all the best. May you be blessed always and in always. And I'll be seeing you around. Bye, love. Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to those of you who have chosen this growth stone. Oh, this beautiful growth stone that I love and just fits in the palm of your hand. So this is something that you've got in a way. For some of you, you might already be in this perfect relationship, and then you will get more insight into that. And when I chose this growth stone, I was basically guided to Google, to go Google the difference between fertility and fecundity, because this is a growth stone, but its original energy was fertility. So how things grow, fertility. And then Spirit had me Google the difference between fertility and fecundity, which is basically the difference between what is realized and a potential. Meaning, fertility is how many offsprings like a population has, and then fecundity would be the potential for offsprings. So in this relationship, it really talks about you guys having a tremendous amount of potential in the perfect relationship for you. There's a tremendous amount of potential. We have eternal love that just showed up, but it takes realizing that potential. I feel like a challenge, if I could put it in that way, we're going to see. But I definitely feel that one of the points of this relationship will be to manifest the potential that is there between the two of you. The potential in how you can be to one another, but I feel like also what you can be and it accomplishing the world. So we have an overall energy of Ganesha, clearing away obstacles, protection, and guidance. Well now, wow. So from the get-go, Spirit shows up. This is one of my guides. So this is guide energy showing up very, very clearly. Whatever the perfect relationship is for you, you will have been guided into it, both of you. This is a relationship that is protected by divine energy. It exists under the purview of divine energy. You are not on your own, and any and all obstacles to this relationship will be cleared out to bring you guys together, but also to keep you together, and also to help you be happy together and thrive and to prosper, to make this a very prosperous relationship. Yes, Lord Ganesha also rules over the union of wisdom and abundance. So prosperity, yeah, where prosperity is always experienced in a wise way, and wisdom always engenders prosperity. Wow, you guys, we have attachment, letting go, restriction, fear. So that's a lot of what needs to be cleared away. And we've got rising above, clarity, freedom, and solution. Beautiful. So there's a way in which this perfect relationship for you is it's like the manifestation of the clearance of an attachment you have. So in some way, shape, or form, you are going to go through life and you're going to have certain experiences, and you're going to learn to like certain things, get conditioned in a certain kind of way. And this relationship, this perfect relationship for you, is going to come in and is going to challenge those preconceptions, that conditioning. So for example, if you're like, I'm only gonna date tall guys, your perfect partner will be shorter than you, for example, or not tall, right? Just taller but not super tall. It would be like that. A different religion, a different race, a different gender than you usually date, maybe. For those of you where that makes sense and it's aligned, it would be like that. There's a dynamic where they just are embodying a challenge for you to preconceptions, perceived notions, maybe even some prejudices, but just a way in which you thought you were, a way in which you thought life would unfold, a way in which you thought relationships would unfold. And Spirit is saying, by the way, this is not all negative. It can be also that you just grew up in an environment in a way where relationships are hard, where there's domination, there's maybe abuse in those relationships. This person comes along and it challenges all of that and says, no, love has to be unconditional, and love can be unconditional. There can be gentleness in relationships. There can be marriages that are happy. So it's really on lots of different levels, but there will be you knowing this. You're going to be aware of this, so that in this perfect partner, in this perfect relationship, there is an ascension of your spiritual energy here with the dove. You're always going to have a sense that you are rising above, that you are growing, that you are evolving, that you are improving as a person, but also spiritually in this connection. And that's why it is so heavily protected and desired for you. Yeah. This is so interesting. What I'm getting here, because the first card that popped up is base chakra upside down, there's definitely clear energy of lineages. There's something about your ancestry and your lineages. So you might be of a very particular or specific religion, religious group. You might have certain, what is it called? Like, patterns, industries, a certain class, those kinds of dynamics. There's just some way in which you have grown up in, you've lived in an enclosed, spiritual, not like, yeah, you've been enclosed in a way, you've grown up and lived in circumstances and dynamics that have kind of enclosed your spirit, that have bottled up your spirit to some degree. Women don't do this, men don't do that, good people don't have this job, good people don't like this, and so on and so forth. A lot of rules and a lot of enshrinement and clearing away of obstacles. It's kind of that's one of the clearing aways. It's a lot of conditioning that you will have experienced. And for some of you, this person too, but we will get to that. Yeah. We have got control here with major arcana number 8, which would be the equivalent of the strength card in the normal tarot. And then finally, we have the 3 of swords, sadness and isolation. This is so beautiful. Wow. Do you see how small that person is and how they just rise up? Yeah, there's definitely, with the sadness and isolation, there is this feeling of having, ooh, ooh, sorry, why am I apologizing? Yeah, and don't apologize when this happens. This is so beautiful. It's this feeling that just overwhelms me of having been alone without this person your whole life and you didn't even know it. So for some of you, you may have had a sense of aloneness, but you're not going to understand its depth until this person comes along. And similarly, you're not going to understand how much you benefit from having them in your life, how blessed you are by this connection until you're there, until you can see it. So there is also the work of coming to a place where these challenges are received as blessings, and true blessings at that, which is a video we just had here on the channel. Okay. Oh, that was so, so, so powerful. There is just a deep kind of calling from inside of you, from your heart, for this person. And a lot of suffering that you've been through in terms of just feeling different than everyone else. You could also have been ostracized, bullied, even threatened for being a certain kind of way, but a lot of pressure put upon you so that you just start acting this small. See that? Just start acting so small. Now it'll come into focus. And then this is you rising up and starting acting so big as you are, and really opening up to life and opening up to lots of experiences, and lots of experiences that can happen in a different way, that can unfold in a different way, because you're basically open to it. This is just wow. Okay, so let's organize things. See, this was too hidden. No, it's up in the open. Everything is so much more open. And finally, major arcana, soul level energy. Your soul is in control. So there's going to be soul level dynamics. There's going to be karmic work that needs to be done. There's going to be some callings into different kinds of situations and circumstances. There's definitely going to be preparation, to be in this relationship. And there's definitely going to be divine timing also. This is going to happen on your soul's timeline. I was going to say, or not at all, but it will, because your soul is your soul. It's really good. It's a soul. It's really, really good at creating reality. So it's going to make it happen. Both your souls are going to be co-creating this, and we even have spirit involved. So it's definitely going to happen, but this way or not at all. And I'm being drawn like, let's get moving, because we have so many cards to draw. Spirit wants to talk a little bit about this karmic work and these patterns, and then we're going to talk about your partner and try to bring you lots and lots of information is coming in. And just this energy, like, let's go, Greta. There's just so much to share, and I feel like maybe you're at a time in your life also where you just want to hear a lot and you want to learn a lot. So you've been asking, and this is just one reading amongst many. Lots of information is going to be coming in. So we have got major arcana number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. We've got the Page of Swords. Yeah, I'll define it later. We have got the Six of Swords. There we go. And we have got the Seven of Pentacles upside down. So this is not, from whenever you're watching this reading, you won't have to wait much longer to meet this person or to align with them where you're feeling this kind of energy. Because sometimes, we talk a lot about unions and coming into unions, but a union, you don't come into union when you meet someone or when you move in together or even when you get married. You're in union when you have aligned your energies, your hearts. And it's that kind of dynamic. So, my love, with the Wheel of Fortune, there are ups and downs in this relationships and in this connections, and really there are cycles, and I do feel like when you meet this person, there is the sense of recognition and feeling happy, but then it does go down to sense of challenge and being challenged by differences. And then we have the snake, which is this energy of moving with it, going with it. In some depictions of the Wheel of Fortune, it's the monkey trying to hold on within it, but of course you will end up on top here. It will work out ultimately, and that is the greatest fortune of this connection. And Spirit is saying it's about seeing it in this way, that the position that you come in where you're feeling stable and you're feeling whole and you're feeling like, again, yeah, this is the perfect relationship for me and it makes sense, is where you come at it from a space of like the Sphinx here, where you are in wisdom, you're in centered, again, the energy of Lord Ganesha. You have the wisdom to recognize the prosperity available in this. And again, prosperity, what can grow, what can evolve, the potential that you can realize in this connection. But with the Page of Swords, it's a lot about how you think about yourself. There is the need to think about yourself in a different way, to change your self-image, your self-understanding. And with the Page of Swords, there's also the notion of humbling yourself. And I remember an elder in my family who once told me, she said, relationships are about, have two people in them, and for a relationship to really work, you have to be as low as the ground. You have to place yourself at the same level as the ground, and you have to live there in the relationship. Now, the thing about it, I don't think they knew, but the word humility comes from humus, the earth, being close to the earth. And it's talking about that. It's like humbling yourself, humbling your ideas, meaning also being open to ideas and looking for the means of convergence. So there's this energy of being challenged a lot in what you think is the way, what you think is right, what you think is true, what you think has value in the world, to be challenged in that in a way that changes your self-perception and then sends you on a journey that you willingly go on, because this person is rowing. You willingly go on this journey and you change your idea, and you arrive at something that is a convergence, an evolution, a progression of your thought. It's always for progression. You're never going to be challenged in anything that is wholesome. And then we know, right? When we're challenged in something and someone says, hey, don't you want to change your mind in this? We know that, no, we don't. Like, for example, we can have prejudicial thoughts and think like women are better than men. And then you meet someone and they're like, really? You really want to think that? You think that's a healthy way to think? And then, when we can go a little bit stubborn, like, yeah. But it's not. And that's what the yeah is representing. That it's not. That it's better to value equality, for example, right? And to have respect for everyone, and so on and so forth. So it's like that. It's an evolution towards the better. And I feel like, again, it's places you're challenged in things that right? Everybody lies, everybody cheats, and then you get challenged in that. Really? Does everybody lie? Does everybody cheat? And like, no. And then you progress into a reality where you're like, hey, and you're applying that in your reality. Everybody doesn't lie. Everybody doesn't cheat. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't want someone who lies. I don't want to have someone who cheats. And then you play that out in the relationship. What does that look like? And maybe in your environment, in every single marriage you could think of, people are lying and cheating, and that has shaped and molded your conception of what relationships are. But you get to shift out of that in these dynamics, and it just applies to so many things. Money doesn't matter. You don't need money in a relationship. Really? You really think that in this world money doesn't matter to some extent? Oh yeah, okay. But then how does money matter? And you go on this journey and you find a way and it works for you, and ultimately it is going to work for both of you. Now the extent to which you're hearing this and going into resistance, where you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to change my thoughts, I don't want to think yet, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that, that's the extent to which this is going to be more or less close for you. If you're in a space where you are resisting changing your mind, changing your belief system, then there would be some wounding behind that, right? There would be a reason why you're attached to it. And the antidote to attachment is willingness. So where you're not willing to let things grow and see what comes and see where you're going to end up, and to basically go on a journey, go on an adventure with this person, which is ultimately always what a relationship is, in the sense that we never know what's going to happen. That's what makes it an adventure. Then that's how much work you have to do, and it's correspondingly going to be how far you are from it. And that's okay, right? You could be watching this and be, let's say, 18, and you are destined on the soul dynamic, for example, it's only an example, to meet this person when you're aged 30. That's, perfectly all right, perfectly fine, and there's a whole life, there's cycles after cycles to go until you meet this person, and then it's perfectly fine, right? But if you are very attached to time and those kinds of things, then that would be something also to work out in this dynamic and connection. Now let's move on. Let's go. Let's talk about this person. Ooh. Wow. Sideways. Okay. I like them. And you're gonna like them, right? That's the point. It's very saying they're a good person, and that's what the first card is. Let's do this. Oh, 2. Okay. I jumped the gun on one, and then the second one showed up. Let's see how it unfolded. I feel like I jumped the gun. Like I just went like, oh, this is taking too long, let me choose. And then I did, and then the real card popped up. But let's see how it unfolds. We've got Simply Love. Now, this is a good person. Through and through. They're just good. They're just good. They're just kind. They're just loving. They are just trusting. They are trustworthy. They are someone who has no agendas. And again, depending on what you've lived through in life, you may or may not believe that people like that exist. But this is someone who doesn't have an agenda. They don't do something from an ulterior motive. Their love is truly pure. It is truly kind, it's generous, it's benevolent, it's just wow. This is, yeah, diamond in the rough for some of you, because this is the 6 of Cups. This is someone from your past, so this is someone that you already have met, you already know, but they were diamond in the rough. There were reasons why it didn't work out back then. You could have your thing, they could have their thing. It's not the divine timing, absolutely, but there's definitely this energy of needing to grow and evolve. But wherever you met them, and wherever they would have been in their lives, making mistakes and so on, they really and truly are destined to grow into someone just absolutely wonderful, absolutely dependent, someone who lives their love very, very freely, someone very sweet and kind. With challenging times, this is someone who has a rough life behind them, a very, very rough life. They will have suffered some kind of significant events, so trauma, abuse, a lot of misfortunes. Well, I don't want to say a lot, but certainly misfortunes, significant misfortunes. So this could be someone who lost their parents at a young age, who was raised in an abusive household, someone who maybe has a certain religion or a certain skin color, so they've been harassed and they've experienced different things. They might be also someone with their what's it called, like their gender identity or their sexuality, and they will have had challenged on that, attack. This is someone who definitely has had to learn to defend themselves, and not in a natural way where we all can learn how to defend themselves, really out of dire necessity. Has been in very, very difficult situations and positions, but again, to have been through that and to emerge as someone who is that good and that loving, again, I'm really, really, really touched. Wow. Yeah, helpless and hopeless. Definitely, I love this. This is again from where they've been in life. They made the choice to be that kind of good person. They could have gone down a wrong path, and again, you may have known them when they were kind of more in the energy of acting out the wounding and wallowing in it, and in victimhood, and in even externalizing that, right? Being hurtful towards others. But there comes a point in this person's life where they will have chosen to heal. They will have chosen to lead a better kind of life, to leave this kind of life behind. It definitely will have had a crossroads moment. I am seeing, for example, jail doors that are closing. That's for some of you, that's very specific, but it would be that kind of thing where they will have met some kind of distinctive boundary, some kind of rock bottom. That's what it represents. Rock bottom moment where either I change my life or I'm going down this bad path that I don't want. For some of you, also addictions. Either I stop drinking or this is going to be an addiction, and so on and so forth. So there's someone who has chosen, there a person who has chosen to come out of that stuff, and Spirit is saying those people are few and far between. There's someone who chose to be this good. There's someone who chose this level of integrity. And then we have teach upside down. And so is this the card? This is the card that I forced to maybe? I don't know. We'll see how it all unfolds. Does it even matter at this point? We have got Major Arcana number 5 with teach. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's what it is. This would be the equivalent of the Hierophant upside down. When it shows up for me, this is about lessons and hard lessons. This is someone who, again, like I was drawing the cards, right? I forced it. I made it happen. Then it's because there's a point where this person comes to the point that they have to take responsibility for how they've made things happen. And then that's part of the lessons that they had to learn. There's still something intended that comes out of it afterwards. With this teach upside down, and I'm getting something in my throat, a surrender. Definitely, this is someone who's called into surrender to a higher power. Wow. Oh, this is lovely. Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it is. In the sense that Spirit is going to have them walk a path where they come into surrender and they learn to surrender to Spirit. They learn to trust in Spirit. And I'm hearing they learn to rest in Spirit, so that it becomes such a huge part of why they are like this. And it is that quintessential kind of example of people who find religion in prison. It would be like that. Again, not saying that they're going to be in prison or anything like that, but it's that kind of imagery. Or it would be the Count of Monte Cristo, done so wrong by society, and then again in prison they gain knowledge, they gain a higher perspective, they gain wisdom that allows them to go out and create a completely satisfactory and really extraordinary life, full of wonders, wow, and magic. Wow, this is really cool. This is really, really cool. But yeah, I think this is all coming to because there needs to be the understanding that this person, when you meet them, they are that way by choice, and they are that way by a lot of work that needs to be respected. And that's also why you cannot challenge them on being different, because they are that way for purpose, and they are that way from a very high source that has taught them to be that way. All right, love, we have advice for you. We have rejuvenation. Okay, very interesting. It's almost that Page of Swords energy, and we have contact. Wow, okay. Okay. All right. Rejuvenation is talking about renewing your energy around relationships. Definitely there's a message about healing. If you have any baggage, you have baggage, you have relationship issues, heal it. Healing processes, Reiki, therapy, whatever you need to get that done. You can also do inner work journaling, whatever you need to get it done, definitely get it done. This is about renewing your energy, and renewal in the sense of dumping old things. Dump it, drop it. Old baggage, old pains, hurts, drama, patterns, all of that stuff. You're getting the guidance right now to seek to clear that, to rejuvenate your relational energy. With that, we have got contact. And contact is saying that there's a time and a place when you draw this card. It's like you're going to meet someone soon, and again, you know how soon it is. So there's a message here about to know that you're going to come into connection with this person. You see how these two spheres, I feel like I'm seeing them like they are just growing and moving together. They're growing towards one another. So you and this person will inevitably come into contact. And if you want that to happen, then do your work. That's how you feed the dynamic. This is not about kind of looking for them or trying to force things to happen. It's really about engendering it, inviting it in, welcoming it by doing your work, by preparing yourself. And again, you will be able to judge that by how much you have willingness to change, how much you have willingness to wait, how much you are at peace with the divine timing unfolding in this connection. So Spirit has a takeaway for you, a last message. There we go. Earlier disappointments were just rehearsal for the great stuff coming your way. Never regret love, no matter how blind it improved your vision, no matter how foolish it made you wiser, and no matter how generous it made you more. Hubba hubba the universe. I'm definitely getting, because it lost focus around that word generous. There's definitely some wounding that you guys would have in common around generous, how much love you've given and how it was taken advantage of or you weren't acknowledged for it, and so on and so forth. So like a closing up around the giving and receiving of love. So definitely part of the work to do. But in general, the message is you have great stuff coming ahead for you, a wonderful, wonderful relationship. Prepare, my love, prepare. And prepare by dealing with the earlier things and how they have affected you and how they are affecting you, might be affecting you even today. So love, that was your reading. That was so exciting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this reading served you. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you would like to share, I would love to hear it. Sending you lots of love, wishing you all the best, and I will be seeing you around. Bye, love. Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to those of you who chose this new earth stone. When I did this reading, the perfect relationship, I knew that this stone needed to be one of the 3 options, and here it is. You guys chose it. And so this perfect relationship for you will be embodying kind of these new earth energies. And I call this new earth especially because it just has this pyramid shape. So there is a foundation, there's a basis, and then it goes up. So there's this notion of elevation in this connection. Yes, let's start with you. And let's get to it. What is the perfect relationship for these viewers, Spirit? Perfect relationship. There we go. We have got an overall energy of let love be your beacon. Well, now. Okay. We've got acceptance of love. There we go. Yay. Yay. I talked about it in the first reading about how that's my idea of the perfect partnership. And here it is. We have gratitude and appreciation. Not my idea, my perfect like representation of the perfect partnership. And here it is. So I actually had to pause there to really consider what the message is, what this overall energy is. Let love be your beacon. And I feel like there is this message about how when you read the card, it talks about lead with love. So this is talking about love energy. This is a connection that is very much a kind of transformer and generator and facilitator, mediator of divine love energy in the world, which is kind of wild. And it took me a moment to arrive at that, but that's the message. That's the perfect relationship for you. It is one that operates at a very high frequency of love, and that it's like you are filled up with this love energy at this really high frequency. This other person is love energy, really high frequency. You come together. then the love is flowing between you, and then the love overflows from your connection into people in your life, your work, into other areas. You will probably also would have a shared mission on some level and in some ways. It could be to start a family, it could be to start work a business. There's just this notion of a tremendous amount of love energy to flow from you, between you, and out into the world. And with let love be your beacon, and when you read the description of the card, it talks about lead with love. Then there is a leadership that this connection has. You are going to be this kind of power couple to look up to, and not power couple necessarily, it could be part of it, but not necessarily in the traditional sense, but more in the sense of the power of love. There's nothing that you guys won't be able to overcome through love. And I feel like this new earth energy, you're both going to be very guided and applying this guidance in the connection and also working it out. So this seems very specific, because I went and read the description of the card, and it also talks about communication will be harmonious. So I feel like you both will communicate about this love energy and how to work it and how guided you are in it. There's so much to say, and we barely got started. We have acceptance of love, and this is again how well you guys match and fit together, but you also grow together. And so, but you're kind of you're complete unto yourself, because these are two kinds of beings, right? This is the tree, this is the moss, two different kinds of beings, but they fit perfectly together and they create an ecosystem together. And I feel like you're just made in a way, you're made in a way where you evolve together. You're never going to grow out of touch with one another. You're never going to grow beyond one another or past one another, because this energy is going to keep you in check. It's going to keep you aligned. So for example, if you're both doing charity, one of you is not going into charity so much that the other one can keep up and they think it's too much, then your evolution is kind of going to be limited to match with this person's. And that can sound really negative, but it's because spirit is like, you fit better together. If you went too much into charity, you would lose their support, also just energetically, and it would make you more vulnerable in some kind of way, shape, or form. So it's better that you guys stay close and you stay together as a unit, because you are really going to support one another. And that's also what gratitude and appreciation is talking about. This is definitely the original intention of what relationships are, meaning this is you each receiving divine love from one another. It's like through this connection, your inner child, your true spiritual being, that's what the inner child is, not the wounded child, but the inner child, the spiritual child, is going to receive so much love from spirit. Really, you're going to be channels, mediators, facilitators of divine love towards one another. And spirit is saying that sometimes also comes in the form of limitation, of saying, no, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think this is going to work well for you. I think we should do this instead, and so on. And that it's just going to be highly beneficial for you to have each other in your lives, and to be able to support one another in this way. And it's something you will have tremendous gratitude and appreciation for, meaning with appreciation that you will know its value, but also that the value of this connection will only go up to you in time. And it also is going to go up it's going to go up as you go along, meaning I feel like the quality of the energy that you mediate and that you put out in the world is also just going to get better and better and better. Two of Cups at the bottom, definitely harmonious. And again, that notion of how you guys work energy together. So let's draw some more cards. Let's see what they're for. We have 5 of Pentacles here with feeling alone. We have got throat chakra upside down. And we have got release upside down. Okay, so as a theme throughout these readings, there's a lot about preparation, and there's a lot about coming into a specific state of being before you meet one another. There is a solo journey here for both of you, and there's a solo journey where at some level there is a sense of not meeting or finding the right person for you. So you wouldn't be people who will have necessarily settled before meeting one another. It's like continually moving, a lot of solitude, a lot of aloneness, a lot of being in your own energy, and also keeping your energy clear. Whenever we are intimate with anyone, whether that is emotionally, whether that is physically, sexually, we are exchanging energies. Even mentally, we can really be affected, influenced by even a conversation, right? And so the more intimate it is, the more there is that exchange, and the more we actually can be carrying other people's energies. So you both will have had a path where you will have stayed quite a lot on your own, in your own space, single. That in this context, that also means single, but also a lot of solitude, to keep that energy high so that you reach home as whole as you can be. There's also this notion of not having necessarily been through how do I put this, like abusive relationship after abusive relationship after abusive relationship, so that the difficulty in upholding and holding this kind of love would just be too high. So there wouldn't have been a lot of that. It's not like you meet and you think, well, this is how relationships are, and it's a very abusive version. You will have been protected from that, and you will guide it away from that. Like literally, there is a river here, there's a cliff, there's a river. You won't have been able to reach those kinds of dynamics, even if you tried. That could be the sense. You really will have been protected. The third chakra upside down, a lot of work on surrender also at that way. Why not this relationship? But I really like this person. I really want this relationship. Why haven't I had this relationship? Well, because you're headed somewhere else. So a lot of challenges of surrender along your way. Also a lot of challenges with authenticity. That's also one of the meanings of the throat chakra. How's that showing up here? Yeah, it's like that sense of continually not finding what you want. So you're like, I want a relationship, and then you keep looking, but you're never finding that partner that really fits. And one of the lessons is to surrender to that, but also to understand that there's nothing wrong with you. It's just because your authenticity isn't matched in those prior connections. And part of your authenticity is very much energy work. You may be like an energy converter. Empath is a word that's kind of overused, because a lot of empaths are that way because of trauma. But it's more the notion of, yeah, being highly intuitive and doing energy transformer work and working energy very, very consciously. And you will have had to learn that, and that's part of your authenticity. So with that, we have release upside down. And release upside down with the clothes here. Child. I'm just amazed at how awesome it is. But the clothes represent civilization. What is the civilization, what is crafted. And so here, in society also, this would be you shedding personas, shedding patterns, shedding inherited things, inherited dynamics, to return to your true self. So you also both will have had this process of being, for lack of a better word, purification. I also got this energy with this. But organized religions have given purity a really bad name, but that's a lot of what I'm seeing in here. Getting pure, staying pure, purifying yourself to be in this kind of union, understood in without the judgments and stuff like that, but just to have the energy be as clean, as clear, as high vibration, high frequency, high amplitude as possible, and then doing the work that goes along with that. This is the equivalent of the death card. So when it shows up as upside down for me, yeah, that's also a message of implosion. And implosion is talking about pulling away energy from a lot of things, pulling away energy from certain people, certain relationships, certain practices, certain dynamics, certain things that you don't do. Maybe you don't watch TV anymore, you don't watch the news, you don't eat meat, you don't go out every weekend and party, maybe you don't drink alcohol, maybe you don't do this and this and that. It will be different for everybody, but there's definitely some ways in which you have departed from the status quo to be in the highest vibrational space possible. And again, through implosion, through pulling energy away. So there are lots of messages here about how to work energy, and that being a central aspect of your dynamic. So now we're going to look directly at this person. And Spirit is saying we're going to look at it in the sense of what they bring, because you know you. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about you, but we are going to talk about what they bring. What do they bring to the table? How do they show up? What are they about? What's their mettle? We've got challenging times. They bring challenging times, okay? Rest and can reconsider. Interesting. And we have win or lose upside down. So what does this person bring? With challenging times, they bring they're someone who has been through a lot. I actually drew this card in pile 2 if you will have seen it. There's someone who has been through a lot, and they have this energy of warrior. This is actually warrior energy, but it's more defense warrior than attacking warrior. So they have, yes, they have a lot of knowledge and awareness about how to protect energy. And this is very needed in this kind of dynamic. So this is someone with really, really good boundaries and a really deep knowing of how to set boundaries, why to set boundaries, and how to do it in a very, actually almost masterful way. There aren't any court cards in this deck, but this will definitely show up as a kind of King of Wands energy of being able to set those boundaries and maintain them and claim them. There's definitely a sense of mastery here. And there's even like a smiley face on the, I'm seeing it as a smiley face today, on the shield. So they can do it with a smile. They can just masterfully, kindly, gently, lovingly just say no and smile and mean it. Wow. And they're also someone who precisely also has been in this departure, let go of certain things, move through certain dynamics, and they are very happy about it. It's not a problem. It's not an issue. What would be challenging to most people is not to them. They also have that. They have a lot of wherewithal. They have a lot of strength. They have a lot of gumption. They have a lot of power because they've been through a lot. They can handle very difficult things with a lot of lightness, and they really would be this kind of person who would be in the army and everybody's forced to be in the army. Fine, I'm here, but I'm gonna draw a smiley face on my shield. Practice the kind of the samurai, I think it's called the bushido, even if I have to kill, I will kill with love. So they are someone also who moves through society and all of its demands on their own terms, in their own way. And again, with that light, with that love energy still present. With rest and reconsider, they have learned a lot from what they've experienced. And they are therefore someone who's very considerate. They consider life. They don't take anything lightly, and they don't take anything easily, even someone's feelings, even someone's response in a moment. They would be that person, if you're hurt or something, then you would just play it off, and they wouldn't. They'd be like, no, this is important, this matters, your feelings matter, they're valid, not necessarily let's talk about it, let's fix it, but they would acknowledge that. They're not someone to shy away from what's important and doing what's important, doing what's needed, and from a place showing up as the king, King of Wands through these two energies. But with the Knight of Wands and its meaning in this deck, it's so much about how they've learned the hard way what happens when you don't. They've learned that an emotion can snowball, that it can lead to this, that it can lead to that. So they're very wise about tending to things when it is necessary. With win or lose, I love this, showing up upside down. Again, they could be someone who'd had a lot of toxic mental patterns, done their work. Again, by the time you meet them, right, and you come into union, done their work, and they are not someone who thinks in win or lose precisely. They're a win-win kind of person because, again, they know how limiting and dispossessing a win-lose mentality can be. But at the same time, they're really good at cutting off what needs to be cut off when it needs to be cut off. When it needs to go, it needs to go. When it's over, it's over. When we need to move on from this, we move on from this. They're also someone, if they say they're okay, they're okay. If they're not okay, they'll say it. And they will be very specific about it and very kind of direct. They are not someone to tolerate fools. They are not someone to tolerate abuse. They are not someone to tolerate disrespect. They really put their foot down, communicate it, and it's a boundary. It's a set boundary. They are not someone to be anyone's victim. They are not someone to lose for anyone else's benefit, right? It's a fake benefit if someone loses. And we do have 555. We have 3 5s. Okay. Definitely change energy in this dynamic, and this person being a change agent in that way. And they will have been kind of looked down a lot for this, especially if they're masculine. It's not something that's always valued in masculine people, so men but also women. It's not often valued, but there's this notion of they really understand what matters in life, and they don't back down from it. They know what respect is, they know what trust is, and they're not going to back down for appearance's sake, to keep the peace. None of that. That is not them at all. At all. And again, from a space of having learned that is just not worth compromising. Yeah, they don't compromise. It was like this. They don't compromise on what matters most, because then everybody loses. Even the people who are asking you to compromise, they just don't know. So there's a lot of leadership in that way, also a lot of care for others. They're willing to step up and do what needs to be done so that everybody wins, even if the person they're doing it for is not going to appreciate it because they don't understand it. Real leadership and real like new earth energy. So Spirit actually wants me to read your energy, because I was like, you, but we're going to read your energy so we can also see how you guys fit together. And this is also your energy in this connection. And again, rather than your energy, it's what you bring. What do you bring? What do you got? We have got, 9 of Cups, dreams coming true. Interesting. We have got 7 of Cups, daydreams, and decisions. Okay, dreams coming true and daydreams and decisions. And then we've got 4 of Cups upside down with opportunities beckon. Wow. So mostly Cups energy, or completely Cups energy. 9, 7, and 4 of Cups. With the 9 of Cups, you're definitely someone who, especially energy, you are the one who will be more in touch with having certain dreams in life. So you will be very much bringing that kind of direction and that kind of impetus and movement. Let's do this, let's go here, let's go there. And in a way where you understand and know that it is given to you to create. What I'm getting from this is a tremendous amount of faith in this union and in this connection and in what you can create together. Because the thing of it with feeling alone in the same line and challenging times, you're the one who's most going to articulate, not necessarily feel, but articulate the extent to which the two of you coming together is a dream come true. There's something magical about it, and it's so magical. It unfolds in such a way that it really creates within you a deep faith that you guys can do anything together, or you ladies, but that the two of you can create anything together, that you can go anywhere, be anything, do anything. And also with this hand and the cosmos, because there's the blessing of spirit. And boy, does this look like working life, right? When we're talking about energy work, you're able to work life at a high level and to really see those higher dynamics of life and work through them, to take them into your hands and make of them what you would want it to be, which will gain you a tremendous amount of admiration. It's like you guys just have a different kind of focus. They've been through so much, and you could have been through so much, and so on, but you just come out in a different kind of like on different sides of the tunnel, right? Where this person is just in the nitty gritty of it. They know how to protect, they know how to defend, they know what needs to be there, and they ensure that it is. And then you have the aspirations, and you have all of the directions of where you can take this. And I hope that you can see and read that these two are very complementary. These are very complementary dynamics. And it's the same thing here. Again, learning so much from their experiences, having a lot of street smarts, and then you bring daydream and decisions. You bring this higher area realm. It's like they know so much of the world that there are things that they can't envision, things that they just would never ever aim for. So if you were like, let's create a restaurant and we will make it what's it called, but basically voluntary payment, where people can pay what they want for the food. And then they would be like, no, people are cheap, people are takers, they would just take it and so on and so forth. I don't think that's a good idea. But then there's a way in which you see it and know it, and you go, no, we go into this neighborhood, into this kind of community, there's already this thing working, because it's a daydream and a decision. So you have the ability to ground it, and you have knowledge, and you can show them, and they will understand, but it just wouldn't come to them to ever imagine it. Because that's the thing, once you talk about it, you're like, oh, there's this community, they can recognize what the community is, they do know good, they do love good. It just wouldn't occur to them, it wouldn't be their first thing, because again, in the union, they would be more the protector and you're the dreamer. They would be more like the mind and you're the heart, metaphorically speaking. It would be that kind of dynamic. And I mean metaphorically speaking in the sense that they have heart energy, you have mind energy. It's just a term of leadership. There you go. You have this aspirational leadership, and they have realistic leadership, and you balance each other out beautifully. With opportunity beckons, that is upside down, you see the infinity symbol here. I do feel like they are someone that you don't expect. There is something about this connection that you don't expect, that you can never expect, and that you're not going to be ready for. You're not going to be ready for this connection on some degree and in some level. So, Four of Cups, how would it be? There's something about it when you meet this person. Maybe it could be how realistic they are, how grounded they are, that it could be the veneer of all you see. But with opportunity beckons, on some level, in some degree, you would pass on this person. You might think they're a stick in the mud, they're boring, they're limited. You might even think they're very 3D. But then when you go into, as the expression goes, right, very 3D, but when you dig a little bit deeper, you find a lot of depth to them. So just know that at first, appearances will be deceiving. You wouldn't see the opportunity. You wouldn't be as open to it as you think that you would be, right? Meeting your counterpart. That's what it is. That's what it is. The person you've been moving towards your whole life. So Spirit has a singular piece of advice for you. We have round and round, upside down. Break the pattern, break the cycle. What pattern, what cycle? What pattern, what cycle, Spirit? There's there's a message here for where you are, and this notion of moving towards and never meeting this person, never realizing it. And of course, that's because you're going to meet them when you meet them. You're going to be with them when you are with them. You're going to be at this level of connection when you're there, right? If you guys maybe are already together, but you're not at this level of connection, you get there when you get there. The energy's right when it's right. And so what Spirit is saying is it talking about how have trust and have faith that the pattern will break. You see how the spiral is moving? It's already in motion. The energy is already in motion. You two are already coming together. It's a matter of allowing it to take the time that it needs to take. It is what it is. It just is what it is. And there is nothing that you or really anybody can do about it. And it is about just having trust and faith, and to stay in the process with the spiral. Keep working the process, keep working the energy until you get there, because you will get there. You will get there. The cycle will break and a completely different cycle will begin in a way that you will just absolutely love, because it will be so right and so true for you. So we have a takeaway, and it says that you have options is meaningful. Rock on. Exactly. If the cycle hasn't broken yet, you haven't met this person yet, you have other things to do, and that is meaningful. Now, what does it say? It says, if I could make just 2 wishes, I'd wish I could somehow convey to you the profound depths of my gratitude for every moment of your life. I'd also wish that you could somehow know of your unimaginable importance, just as you now are to the lives of so very many. And of course, I'd wish for even more wishes. Oh shoot, you are such a good idea, the universe. That you have options is meaningful. Rock on. And there's a couple of messages here. There's definitely a message to understand that this union is going to be very influential. When you have this kind of union, there is so much energy that is getting pumped out into the world. There are so few unions like that into the world. There's a lot of influence and a lot of service and a lot of love that you're just bringing to the collective as a whole. However, there is a path of preparation towards that. And whatever you have before you on your path right now, even if it's not where you want to be, what you want to be doing, what you want to be experiencing, those experiences are still meaningful because they will have their place in the grand scheme of things, and they will matter to make you the most prepared and the best energy conductor that you possibly can be in this union, which is so crucial. So, love, that was your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope that it spoke to you. I would love to hear what you want to say about it, if you would like to share. And then otherwise, I'm sending so much love, wishing you all the best. Bless you, bless your partner, bless this union. May you be blessed always and in always, and I will be seeing you around. Bye, love.